Here is the HPP Simulation Weekly Race Recap of Round 7 of the Lionheart Retro Series presented by HPP Simulation.
Green flag is out. They are away. Alex Saunders gets a great jump on the field, tries to get that preferred line going down into one, and that's going to leave Adam Blocker. They're fighting side by side with Justin Weaver, and he's going to get the best of Justin Weaver. So they're going to settle out with Saunders, Weaver, Blocker, and Otis running 1, 2, 3, 4. And Otis already having a look inside, and I believe that was Joe Branch trying to take a look inside. But so far, the front part of the field very much behaved.
Michael Goodman down to 6, but he's not done yet. He's going to look down there to the inside one more time. Our director does a great job of panning to the inside, and they touch, and they spin, and there goes Brian Yosik.
Ryan Otis and Dustin Wardlow has gotten to the back of Ryan Otis here, and he's even trying to take a few peeks around him. I think Dustin Wardlow has the faster car, and it's just going to be a question of he's going to be able to get around him as we're looking now at about 5 laps to go.
Yeah, I think it's even a little bit less than that. If a yellow comes out now, we're done. Next flag, basically the end of the race. Saunders comfortably out there, looking at the back of Otis.
Yeah, now that Saunders has switched out over Adam Blocker now over a second. This is the battle on the racetrack as far as the highest position here. It's Dustin Wardlow trying to steal away that podium spot from Ryan Otis. Is he going to be able to do it? Well, you only got a couple laps to figure that out. The laps are going by quick. White flag for the turn 200. Very, very clean race. So we're able to stretch it back out over top of Adam Blocker here. The last couple of laps won't be in contention. He just has to get 3 and 4 cleanly. Doesn't have to try to force anything. And leading most of the way here for today, another big win for Alex Saunders, the rookie.
Otis lost it out of 4. Dustin Wardlow is gonna get the final podium spot, and it all goes south for Ryan Otis.
Engineered to win, built to last. Nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system in the world of sim racing. HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing.
An icon reborn. A new season begins. Drivers must face off wheel to wheel with only one goal: to be crowned champion. Experience the competition and the glory days of early 80s IndyCar action. Hear the song of 500 horsepower Cosworth engines. Watch as drivers wrestle these ground effects cars into submission. Without electronic driver aids, it creates the perfect combination of man, machine, and speed. The Lionheart Retro Series, presented by HPP Simulation, starts now.
After 3 straight oval races, it's time for these Lotus 79 drivers to turn right again. From our last stop in the American Midwest, now we're in the Deep South. It's the Lionheart Retro Series Plasma Tracks Grand Prix of Barber, live from Barber Motorsports Park, round 8 of 18 on the Season 2 schedule. Welcome to Birmingham, Alabama, home of Barber Motorsports Park, and welcome to the Global SimRacing Channel in the Countdown to Green, presented by the Sim Pit. GSRC is going to bring you all of the on-track Lotus 79 retro action here tonight, live as it happens as we go through our pre-race show. We're going to bring you all the storylines, all the stacks, everything you're going to need to appreciate the Plasma Tracks Grand Prix of Barber here for this evening that will immediately follow as we count down to green. Hello, I'm Adam Young, and joining me tonight is Bill Soupson. As always, in the director box, it's going to be Amjad Yaman. He's going to be using cameras aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC camera guru Dougie Beard. 2 weeks ago, saw another dominating victory by Alex Saunders, his fourth this season at the Milwaukee Mile. That helps set up what may be a three-horse race for the championship as we near the halfway point of the season. We've got those point standings coming up, but Soup, let's first talk about this track. It's very different from what we saw the last time out.
And of course, when I talk about the track, that and everything else on the Countdown to Green comes courtesy of its sponsor, the Sim Pit, an entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing. Its mission is to bring you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim racing hardware and software. It also focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer with instructional videos and how-tos that will help your performance on the virtual track. Check it out at thesimpit.com. And now let's talk about today's virtual track. It is Barber Motorsports Park. Has been called the Augusta National of racetracks. Its beauty is second only to its difficulty. Opening in 2003, that's almost a quarter century after today's Lotus 79 was the baddest race car on the planet. This multi-purpose racing facility rests on 740 acres of rolling countryside in Leeds, Alabama. The track is narrow, with passing opportunities in short supply. Measuring only 2.38 miles or 3.83 kilometers for those inclined, it squeezes in 16 turns, and because of constant elevation changes, many of those are blind corners. It's fast, it's short, it is unique. But the best way to get an idea of what this place is like is to jump on board and take a lap around Barber Motorsports Park.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Lotus 79, so let's do a lap around Barber. Down into turn 1, you'll be carrying a ton of speed, so it's very tough to execute passes into here. You'll need to be on your toes too, because it leads directly into the Alabama roller coaster. This is a long, undulating double apex bend. The exit here is extremely important as well, because a bad run could put you under threat into the next corner. Charlotte's Web is easily the most common place for overtakes on the circuit, but the dip downhill right as you hit the left pedal means braking late could leave you coming in too hot. To add to the difficulty, the corner opens up on the exit, so steering and finding traction will be tricky. Drift the car off to the left, and then you've got the notorious museum corner to tackle. You're braking and turning while the car gets light, but you're also threading the needle between these curves. The compression at the bottom of the hill should make finding the power a little easier, but right away the back half of the course is unrelenting. 10 and 11 need a lot of precision and bravery to stay flat-footed. There's just no downtime around this track, and it's only a short blast up to 12 and 13. Drivers are fully committed plunging the car into here, and you'll see competitors of all skill levels have trouble keeping the car straight coming over this crest. Now you're into 14 and 15, which act as one continuous curve. Hug the inside of 15 to set yourself up better for the final corner. There's some banking here, but it's surprisingly easy to understeer off into the grass. Hopefully you kept it all together and have now finished a lap around Barber.
That's Joe Peak doing the talking. Amjad Yaman doing the driving there around for you. Amjad Yaman, by the way, just learned he's second in the standings for the Tony Hayes Cup at Absolute Beginners League. So always great driver. Always great to see him out on track. Soup, Adam Blocker continues to lead the points, but trouble isn't very far in his rear view mirror, although he's got a little bit of cushion. He's still a little bit back. Go ahead and break down the Drivers' Championship for us.
Yeah, just like all the attention was on Amjad Yaman, sitting second in the points over there in the Tony Hayes Cup for the Absolute Beginner guys. All the attention is on the driver in second place here, as it is indeed the rookie Alex Saunders, who's been putting on the show of late. Let's first talk about the man in front, Adam Blocker for Adrenaline Motorsports. He's got that substantial lead, a solid confidence-building 61 points. But again, here comes Saunders. He's been on everyone's radar and coming off another win, his fourth of the season. He is closing that gap. Of course, he's racing for Nighthawk Motorsports, and he is up 4 spots. And on the heels of that, then we also got to talk about the other driver out there, which is, we're going to talk about Dustin Wardlow. Even though he finished third last time out at Milwaukee, he still drops a spot down into that third position overall. You know, we have our hard charger up 4 points is James Krahula, up 4 spots, doing a good job there. In contrast to that, how about Jake Wright? You know, a little lactose intolerance keeps him away from Cheesehead Country, and the no-name racer drops a few spots down into 10th. Let's go ahead now and look at the team championship. And of course, this is sponsored by Clipping That Apex. If you haven't had a chance to check them out, go ahead. They've got some great apparel there. Adrenaline, well, they won the day with 170 points thanks to the hard work of Adam Blocker. He came in second, Christopher in fifth, and Joe Branch chipped in points from 21st position. That means Ravens Motorsports lead was 24 points. It now shrinks down to 15th as Adrenaline starts to close the gap. All the teams held station with none in striking distance of another. Let's go ahead now, Adam. Why don't you talk about the rookie? Well, you know, our top rookie we've been talking about.
Yeah, of course. You know, we don't want to take anything away from Adam Blocker there. You know, of course, he's running himself a great season, but Saunders is right there, Alex Saunders, of course, and he's also obviously leading the rookie standings with Brian Yazik, 67 points behind him. But really, you know, a fantastic battle going on from second through fifth there in the rookie standings. You know, with Yazik up there, Johnson, but not a lot of movement in the standings. A couple guys going down in position, a couple guys going up in position. And really, though, eyes are on the top of both this and also, of course, the Drivers' Championship here for is this midway part of the season. All right, so, of course, Lionheart sanctions both this Retro Series and the Big Sister IndyCar Series, which you may have seen last night here on GSRC. Both campaigns honor the memory of the original Lionheart, Dan Weldon. And with that in mind, let's look at the Retro Series details. Soup, of course, coming off 3 oval races, heading back to a road course here today.
This is indeed the sophomore season, and it has been a big success as we work in season 2. Well, we're round 8 of 18. You see those cute little droplets there next to the 18? That means the drivers get to drop 2 races, and we'll start taking those into account at the halfway mark. You do the math, that's coming up pretty soon. Our car, of course, is the prestigious Lotus 79 that Mario Andretti took to a championship in Formula 1 back in '78. Setups, now this is important. These are adjusted fixed setups. Everybody is racing a fixed setups, but it's not your baseline from iRacing. The powers that be, the guys who know how to do it, get in there and start to tweak this Lotus 79 to give the drivers a setup that's raceable, but also competitive. Cash prizes, $4,391, including a great prize from HPP Simulations.
All right, and of course, Soup, we had pretty good weather last time out when we were at the Milwaukee Mile. What do we got here for today?
Well, we're in Alabama. You would think it'd be hot and sticky. Well, the ambient temperature is only 78 degrees, but that sun is pounding down, and look at the track temperature picking up to 104. These tires are rock hard. They're not going to wear, but it's not going to make traction all that pleasant for these guys. 55% humidity, that's something you would expect from this part of the country. No fog, and a little bit of a wind, but it shouldn't be an issue. The real issue there is the temperature on the track.
Yeah, and of course, that'll be enough to get these guys sliding, especially through the elevation changes that Barber Motorsports Park has. Car tends to get a little light at top of some of these hills. That'll be something that we'll be watching out for here for today. All right, well, of course, qualifying is well underway now. We're looking at Alex Saunders. Now switch over to Adam Blocker. Alex Saunders and Adam Blocker sitting 1-2 on the provisional grid here so far. And actually, here, Soup, quite a bit ahead of Jake Wright. Almost, Jake Wright's a full second behind Alex Saunders and almost a full second behind Adam Blocker on the qualifying standings.
Yeah, if you're a long-time fan of the Lionheart Series, you know Jake Wright picked up 2 championships racing in the DW12, the old Dallara that used to race in the IndyCar Series. Of course, now they've switched over to the IR18. But Jake not quite getting the feel of this retro Lotus 79. Talk about Saunders and Blocker and this track. Some tracks qualifying not so important. This one, being out in front, very important, as passing is going to be difficult. There's places you can pass, but you're going to have to work to get there. And when you're chasing a guy like Alex Saunders, he's not going to leave the door open that often.
No, you know, we'd be seeing that door actually probably shut quite a bit. I mean, this track has produced some great battles as far as the IndyCar Series here the last couple of years, and very well could see that here for this season. Looking at Brian Yazik having a little bit of trouble there. And, you know, really these cars do lend themselves to some side-by-side racing here. We can't forget last year, I want to say it was Adam Blocker and then Ryan Otis, who I do not see Ryan Otis in the field here tonight, but he lost last year, I believe it was to Adam Blocker by only 0.08 of a second. They were side-by-side coming to the finish line, and Jake Wright wasn't very far behind them, if memory recalls. Of course, they ran this race at the second half of last season, so really only a couple months old. Well, probably already 6 months old. Soup this year is just flying by, considering the fact we're already halfway through the season. But I think we're going to see a little bit more racing here today, but these nice, wide Lotus 79 tires definitely look a little out of place here, but in a good way. It's a good way being out of place.
They are wide and they are hard. They will last the whole time. We'll talk about the race analysis here, but just to let the cat out of the bag, there will be one stop. It's going to be a really, really tight window, pit window on this one. We're going the distance here. It's going to be very, very tight, right about in the middle, as we're looking there at Adam Blocker doing something he doesn't want to do later, getting that out of his system, putting the car in the wall. Look there, we see some familiar names. She talked about Ryan Otis. He is not here with us today, but everyone else is James Krahula sitting down in 11th. Woody Mahan with us. Jason Galvin here. And most of those guys have their qualifying in.
Yeah, I think right now a lot of these guys that are out here right now are, in fact, just kind of cruising around, just trying to get a few more laps in. So with that, qualifying, of course, about done. Drivers are soon going to be called to the HPP starting grid so we can get everything going here. And when it's time to go sim racing, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulation. Designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment, HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit www.hppsimulation.com. And Soup, I think it is safe to go ahead and talk about the grid here real quick, as Alex Saunders is going to be on the pole with Adam Blocker starting alongside him.
One thing to note on the front rows, we go through the grid. The first corner is a left-hander. We'll find out, because I really don't know whether that pole position is going to be on the outside or the inside of the track. I would think it's going to be to the left, as that first corner is a left-hander. Row 2, Jake Wright and Michael Goodman, a couple big names there.
Next up, a guy that's really coming on strong here as of late, Justin Weaver. Alongside him is going to be Dustin Wardlow.
Brian Yosick and Jason Galvin going 7th and 8th.
Woody Mahan and Travis Yeagerliner starting 9th and 10th in row 5.
Top of the next page, it's James Krahula in 11th. He's going to be inside of Aaron Morgan.
Yeah, and then row 7, Ron Hacker and Chris Lanini.
George Anzaldo back in 15th, inside of our own GSRC Samuel Ryman.
Then you'll find Joe Branch and Scott Johnson making up row 9.
Joe Branch and, we did that one there. And then we go down to Vincent Bluthenthal. Now, let's see. We have Vincent Bluthenthal, Bob Micas, and David Cordy. Did not put in qualifying times. 21 names on the entry list, 18 put in times. Some of those drivers, the last 3 that I mentioned, might be doing some race stewardship going on.
Yeah, David Cordy usually shows up on the grid, but I think he just wants to make sure we get to his name at some point. But he's usually helping us out up in the booth and kind of running the show for these guys, make sure everybody's minding their P's and Q's. And David Cordy does a fantastic job of that. So we don't mind giving him a mention on the grid at all. So, Soup, guys are getting lined up here. And, of course, they do have a pace lap out there behind that roof safety car, and kind of give these guys a little bit of a chance to kind of familiarize themselves with the track just a little bit more before they go green. But I'm really thinking that from what I've seen here so far in warm-up and what I've seen in qualifying, that if Adam Blocker is going to have a chance at Alex Saunders, Adam is going to have to get a fantastic start to this race.
Let's go ahead and talk about the start. As I mentioned, this is one of the handful of tracks on the iRacing service where the first turn actually goes away from the center of the track. We're racing in a clockwise formation, but our first corner is a left-hander. So sure enough, Saunders is going to have the outside row here. He's going to be on the left side of the front row. You see Blocker then in his familiar blue machine sitting there in second. Yeah, the race to turn 1, that's going to be important. Then you go down into the carousel. Not much going on down there. Then another shot out of this one. This kind of lays out a little bit where you go up and back and up and back. Reminds me a little bit of Motegi, where it has kind of that supermarket layout, up one aisle and down the other. I love this place, other than it's a little narrow.
Yeah, but that narrowness can lead to some exciting racing at times. But definitely don't want to let the likes of those two front row guys get up there and march away from everybody. So we also be looking for Jake Wright, Michael Goodman, and try to do something here on the start as the field does start to roll away here. So we'll be going to green here before too long as the field's going to make its way around this 2.38 mile track. All of 16 turns out there, and only a 20-car field here for today. If 20 cars taking the grid, so a touch smaller than what we were seeing the last couple of weeks at Twin Ring Motegi and the Milwaukee Mile. But Soup, great races these guys have been putting on here the last couple of times out, and expecting much the same here today.
Only 18 cars, but we do have several of them that have onboard cameras on them. So let's take a look at those. Brian Yozik in the familiar HPP simulation machine in the number 55. Next up, we got the number of 44 car. They got the butt kicker car driven by Travis Jagerliner. And let's see, George Anzaldo is here as well in the Plasma Tracks onboard camera. Boy, if you haven't visited Plasma Tracks, go ahead and check them out. That is a unique place to do some shopping. They've gone through the hairpin. Now they head down into, well, I call it the corkscrew. Don't be fooled, but this is a strange little place down here, down into 9. This is a tough corner.
Yeah, you don't quite have the elevation change that you do at Laguna Seca's corkscrew, but at the same time, you do kind of have that extra little twist when you get down to the bottom. And I've seen a few guys actually get their cars a little bit upset in practice there, so that's going to be another trouble area to be watching out for. And the entry on that's a little tough as well.
Now they're on the throttle all the way down as they get down to 12 into tunnel. Now, this is a passing zone. You'll see a lot of guys take a defensive line on the right-hand side down here, trying to protect, because it's really the last place you can pass until the start-finish line. Yes, corner 16 is a left-hand, and there's a bit of a straight, but for these cars, probably not enough ground to snake somebody at the very end. If you don't have the lead going into 13 on the last lap, you're going to be hard-pressed to get the win.
Yeah, you saw Ryan Otis tried it last year, but still came up short even with a fast race car. Well, that roof pace car is off. We're getting ready to come to the green flag. These guys are going to be rounding corner 16 right here, and on the throttle is Alex Saunders. Alex Saunders getting a great jump, and right behind him getting a great jump as well is Jake Wright coming from the second row. He's going to be making a play on Adam Blocker for second. Adam Blocker pitching here just a little bit. Almost a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact back there between Dustin Wardlow and Michael Goodman. They're able to get away clean, but they're side by side from about third place up back. Justin Weaver does the hospital wobble. He's off into the grass, backs it into the wall. So already our fifth place guy out of this race, or at least severely damaged, causing a little bit of backup here through the middle part of the field.
Yeah, that scared everybody, but a good job of them getting by. That had to be, boy, lost it just getting on the gas out of that corner. Now, I've been in this car a little bit, honestly. I've never lost it. We have another car that's off. Little trouble from Michael Goodman, who qualified in 4th. He has it off too, so some of the guys up front, Goodman had a squiggle coming out of the corkscrew.
So already some trouble for several guys trying to get this race going here, as even Michael Goodman comes away with a little bit of wing damage, and Woody Mahan is off now as well.
Oh my goodness, the winner so far of lap number 1 has been the track. He got a little bit of rhinoplasty maybe practicing by Aaron Morgan there, who almost got him. Now we're going to look at Justin Weaver. The car was going straight at him, and then he lost it.
He almost had it saved, and it just, I call that hospital wobble. You know, kind of an old stock car racing term, but it applies, and sometimes it just starts to go away from you. You try to bring it back, and it can't come back, and well, he ended up stuffing it into the arm code there, and day did not off to a very good start for Justin Weaver, and wondering now if that damage might be terminal as he's making his way down pit road. Alex Saunders, though, you see him right there in the lead, and actually a halfway decent lead already over top of Adam Blocker, up to 1.7 seconds. He is on the afterburners. That Adam Blocker so far, you know, Jake Wright had that fantastic jump right there at the start of the race, and Adam Blocker's not been able to shake him completely here just yet.
Well, you heard me give a whoa going into corner 2 on the very first lap.
Ooh, speaking of a whoa, Dustin Wardlow gets 2 wheels off. That's going to slow him up big time. Ryan Yazik's going to get to the inside of him as he gets right around corner 16. So move Brian Yazik now up into 4th position after a big mistake from Dustin Wardlow.
And on this lap, just crossing the start-finish line, going into 1, James Krahula had a spin. He was racing in 9th position. He's going to drop several spots. He falls back now to 18th. Just to finish my thought on the opening lap, Wright had that great start, and I thought he was going to be able to close the door on Adam Blocker going into 2. Blocker said no way as he powered around the outside, able to hold on to 2nd, and now opening it up. And yeah, it is Saunders, Blocker, and Wright. And they are a long way from each other.
They are. Right now, the distances between your top, well, Alex Saunders being up in front, I mean, he's 2 seconds now ahead of Adam Blocker, and Adam Blocker and Jake Wright, within a second of each other, and then you got to go back almost another, I believe, 2.5, 3 seconds to go back to Brian Yazik. So the top half of this field really starting to spread themselves out. Is Barber Motorsports Park continues to be, Soup, you called it the track, the winner of lap 1, but really, I mean, it might be the winner here of the first half of the race, as people are just trying to get a feel for it right now. It seems like some guys are having trouble with that.
Well, let's talk about the race analysis, how far we're going. 53 laps, you can see the max fuel stint. We think about 27. You do the math. That's really close to halfway. We're confident it's a one-stopper just with a small window. The traditional road course incidence points, 12 is -3, 17 is -5 in the championship standings, and you DQ'd.
Yeah, so if you do the math on that max fuel stint, that would come out to be, these guys are going to be looking to come in within a lap or 2 of that lap 27, because it is, you said it, it's a very tight pit window here for today. So pit road very well could be a busy place. And Soup, have you ever had the benefit, or well, I don't really want to call it a benefit because it's tough. Have you ever used the pit entry here at Barber?
Yeah, I like the pit entry here. I know people don't like. It's for me because it doesn't. I just keep going straight out of that corner. That's how I do most of my corners anyway when I overshoot the apex. So I just miss the apex and it says, okay, it's time to pit. Yeah, so you're pitting. It's a lot like if you think of Watkins Glen, where you're pitting from the outside again. As you can see, some of the cars are going around there right now. I'm looking. Maybe we can look at a driver like. Let's go ahead and look at Ron Hacker as he's coming up, racing in 9th position, heading up into pit entry, and you just keep going straight. Then you got to be careful though, because you have some little work to do through the little alley section down there until you get into pit lane. Pit exit though, not so bad. It kind of stumps you off nice and friendly there, up right off into corner 2. And we talked about the pit entry and exit. Lap traffic, I think, is going to be an issue here today too. This is a short track. We're racing long enough. That could be exciting.
Yeah, especially with as busy as pit road could be, it very well could play a role in that. Anyway, let's go ahead and riding on board right now on Michael Goodman's vehicle. I believe he is right behind Joe Branch right there.
Yeah, he just got him.
And he is he's right in the wings. We got another battle I think is going to be developing here is Brian Yazik and Dustin Wardlow getting back into it. And Jason Galvin not far behind them is Brian Yazik actually just put a wheel off just a second ago and almost had to give up that position to Dustin Wardlow, but continuing to fight on here.
Yazik qualified 7th, racing in 4th, was able to vulture some positions about guys who's had trouble. Now he's got around Wardlow and Galvin. They qualified, Wardlow qualified ahead of him. Other drivers who have problems is Goodman.
Yeah, and of course Wardlow already trying to come back. He's one of the guys that was fortunate, was unlucky enough to put wheels off, but fortunate enough to keep it straight.
Woody Mahan just put it in the wall right now.
Yeah, his day goes from bad to worse as he slides to a stop right there on the screen, going to a GSRC replay, and you see him slap that Armco especially hard. Rewind it a little bit. We'll go back and take a look at the full slide here, riding on board with him and on that loud pedal Motorsports machine, and he just clipped the grass. Yeah, and away she went. Tough break for Woody Mahan as his day is going to be done.
He had a good qualifying run. Qualified 9th, his day is done. Another driver who qualified well is out, Justin Weaver. We saw him have issues early. Driver qualified 9th, driver qualified 5th, both out of the race.
Yeah, and so the Barber Motorsports Park continues to chew up a few victims out there, as Alex Saunders is not one of them. Checking in on him, and I mean his lead right now about 4 seconds over top of Adam Blocker. So Alex Saunders doing his best to try to run away with another one. Some of those guys back there are hoping that he's going to be able to make a mistake and they can try to make a race out of this. But right now, Alex Saunders doing what he's done the last couple weeks and just try to dominate.
I'm going to go back, show you a nice little battle. Let's start at 11th position. This is George Anzaldo. He's up 4 spots from where he qualified. He's being chased by Chris Lanini, who did put in a qualifying time. But let's go back right behind them. That's Samuel Ryman, and that's Joe Branch. And this is a battle for 13th. Branch has really been working on the back of Ryman. One of the closest battles out there. They race near the back of the cars that are running. Scott Johnson in 15th.
Of course, some of these guys, like Samuel Ryman, have just been able to take advantage of some of the guys that are having trouble. But in the process, they've ended up in it looks like a 5, almost 6 car little grouping right there, where it wouldn't take much of anything for to see some big swaps for position going through as they go through that little corkscrew area. You got a good look right there on the GSRC screen about, you got to have that little kink that you don't have at Laguna Seca, although the elevation change at Laguna Seca obviously a lot more apparent. I guess that would be the word for it. Substantial, maybe that'd be another word for it. But Samuel Ryman having himself a pretty good race here for so far today. Samuel usually is one of those guys that just kind of likes to hang in the back and just pick off positions and then go racing in the second half of the race.
Talk about drivers hanging in the back. Let's go to 16th. This is Vincent Blumenthal. I'm not sure what's going on here. James Krahula, remember, he qualified 11th. He's had some issues. Krahula is taking some interesting racing lines to find his way around Blumenthal. Here he comes. He's going to see, nope. And he's been doing that a lot. He's been looking. He's been pestering. Now they go through the carousel. I just got a bad feeling about what's going on here. Almost like Krahula is like a big sister just teasing her little brother. And now getting in the mix, here comes Bob Mikas.
Bob Mikas is like, I've had enough of following your bright yellow car. It's enough. I want to get up there and race with my teammate for a little bit. Which, by the way, Soup,
and there we go.
Yeah, a little mistake there by Vincent, and that's going to allow James Krahula to get around him. But Vincent still has a preferred line going to the next corner. In fact, Krahula has to get out of it. And that's going to allow Bob Mikas to go ahead and try to come back on him here. See if he's able to do anything. James Krahula giving him the room, but also is able to maintain the speed. I think he's going to hang on to here for at least a little bit, at least maybe until we get to the start-finish line.
Yeah, this battle basically means absolutely nothing other than it's really entertaining to watch. But
yeah, I'll admit, Soup, I was watching some highlights from a vintage race the other day, and James Krahula put a wheel off there, and I saw one of those old John Player Special Lotuses end up on its roll bar, and it broke my heart to see an old F1 car upside down like that.
Let's stay on this now. I think Krahula finally gets the pass made. And there we go. And probably the guy the happiest to see that is Alex Saunders, who's eventually going to get to these guys in a while. And he would like to get that settled out before he gets there. That's not going to happen for quite a bit. Oh, look at the Candyman. He lost it right in front of Jason Galvin.
Getting that GSRC replay up here. It looks like Dustin Wardlow is able to get away with it, although he did lose some spots. Just loses the back end of the car. Thankfully, Jason Galvin had enough room to be able to get around him, but that's going to cost, as mentioned, cost Dustin Wardlow a few positions. In fact, now he's back there fighting with Aaron Morgan right behind him, and he's got a ways to catch up to the next car in line. That'd be Travis Jagerliner. Yeah,
Wardlow did a good job of waiting on the side of the road while Jagerliner went around. Then he brought it out. He got it out just in front of Aaron Morgan. Morgan up 4 spots.
riding on board that butt kicker onboard camera on Travis Jägerliner's car. And he's got enough room up in front of him that, you know, you might think he was leading the race, but no, he's sitting there right now in sixth position. He's got about 4 seconds between him and Jason Galvin in front. So, you know, and with that, of course, let's talk about Butt Kicker a little bit here. One of our series sponsors. And Butt Kicker, if you're a sim racer looking to add that missing driver to car connection, bringing more realism to your sessions, Butt Kicker products are the way to go. A Butt Kicker moves actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com and use the promo code LION20 to get 20% off your order.
Here's some haptic action right now. Look at this move. Jake Wright has been ran down, and Brian Yazik moves up into third, gets the 55 car around Jake Wright.
You know what this is that Yazik knows that he could lose ground to Alex Saunders in the rookie championship and wants to minimize how much ground he's going to lose. I think that's his motivation right now.
Well, he's going to need a lot of motivation if he wants to pick up any more spots, as Adam Blocker is up by 14 seconds. My gosh, are there two good drivers out here? Saunders and Blocker once again just putting on a show.
Yeah, I think at this point of the race that you're going to have to hope for, well, if you're the rest of the field, you were hoping for Alex Saunders and Adam Blocker to make some sort of mistake. But that just hasn't happened here lately. And might be a reason that Brian Yazik was able to gain so much ground on Jake Wright. I'm seeing a lot of damage on the nose of Jake Wright. So I'm wondering if maybe something happened to him and we just didn't get a chance to catch him.
Boy, that would answer a lot, because Jake Wright is a hard pass. Yeah, sure enough, you can see that left front wing bent up a little bit.
Oh, he had a spin back on lap 8. Put wheels off, it went around, he nosed it into the wall. All he had is the aero damage, but obviously cost him in time and obviously aerodynamics right now as well. Not working in Jake Wright's favor, so he might slip further back from just that, though, that significant damage.
As we go back to 10th position, you know, that makes a lot of sense. Back to 12th, here we're looking at Samuel Ryman. This is a nice little battle. Anzaldo in front of him as he's girdled between Anzaldo and Branch. Here comes Branch right now, making a move on Ryman. Not going to get that done. That makes a lot of sense. Jake Wright was a lot closer to Adam Blocker, only 3 or 4 seconds back. So he had enough time to spin, still get out there, and then lose that spot for third. We ride on board with Joe Branch now.
A couple cars in front of Joe Branch. That would be George Anzaldo, Ron Hacker. You see up there, if you look way off in the distance, you can see Michael Goodman, whose day did not get started off very well, and he fell back as well. So nice little pack back there. That is the closest racing on the racetrack.
We can stay on board with this one. Goodman, there we're looking at Goodman as you see him coming over the hill. He's doing his very best. He's got around some of these guys, got around Ron Hacker, racing in 9th. He's still got time to get up to Andy Morgan, 6 seconds up. It's Aaron Morgan. My apologies. Andy Morgan is an old sim racer. Unfortunately, passed away recently. Still living in the back of my mind there. Andy, still thinking about you. Looking at Travis. Then we're seeing there's Aaron Morgan, and right ahead, there's Travis Jägerliner.
Travis actually having himself a pretty decent day out there. Of course, coming into this race. Been wanting to have a little bit of good luck of sitting 14th in the standings. Like to be able to try to get up a little bit more. And some of the guys that he's racing within the standings right now for Travis Jägerliner. Not here today, including the 2 spots in front of him, that being Kinsella and also Graf. Both those guys are not in the field here this afternoon, so good chance for Travis Jägerliner to move up. Dustin Wardlow, though, he's right now just trying to do his best to try to stay third in the standings right now. Of course, the guy that he had right behind him was Goodman, and Michael Goodman finding himself in some trouble earlier on. Dustin Wardlow right now just trying not to find any more trouble, as they already had a wheel off and a spin.
You were talking about, you're looking at Jake Wright. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, and talking about maybe not having the greatest days, Jake Wright was having a great day. It went wrong a couple of laps ago when he spun and nosed it into the wall, and that damage is now costing him time. It's already cost him at least one position, might be getting ready to cost him another one, as Jason Galvin is right underneath his rear wing now.
And of all the tracks to have this happen to, of all the race formats, the one that has like a 2-lap pit window, there's no way he can come in as he's about to lose the spot. Look at Galvin running him down in that.
Bob Mikus is now in the wall. We were just talking about him and the just kind of hanging back there, put a wheel off, and ended up in the Armco for his trouble.
That was, again, out of the corkscrew.
It seems to be like that exit right there. I've seen a couple of guys just run wide. That wide rear tire grabs the grass. You are a passenger at that point. Bob Mikus is going to be calling it a day. All right, Jason Galvin has now gotten around Jake Wright. Swap those two on your leaderboards if you're keeping them on your own at home, as Jason Galvin is going to move up into fourth position there, and now try to have his eyes set on Brian Janzik in third, but he's got a couple seconds to try to gain him.
And you talk about Wright, there is nothing he can do. He cannot afford to come in and make that extra stop. The wing will be an easy fix. They'll get that taken care of, but he just can't do it until the pit window opens up, and that's not going to be for a few more laps from now, so he just has to keep racing. So who's next? Well, here comes the Candyman racing in 6th. That interval, just over 2.5 seconds. We were talking about Jägerliner and Wardlow a minute ago, 2 veterans of this Retro Series. Your Jägerliner making his 23rd start this race. Dustin Wardlow, the first driver to get to the quarter-century mark, the silver anniversary, as he's making his 25th Retro start. Let's go ahead and look at the profile, as this is a very special day for him. Talk about what we got going on there. You can see he has 24 starts. That's under his belt. This will be his 25th start today. No poles yet. Career wins. He's got one of those. And the top 5s and top 10s you see in there. But I have some other information because I've done a little research. He is only 6th in laps. He's 2nd in all-time starts, but he's only 6th in laps completed. Actually, he's 1st in all-time starts, but he's only complete. He's 6th in laps completed. And last season, his win, well, Adam, I'm going to ask you this. If you had your choice of what track you wanted to win at, where would it be? What race
on the Retro Series schedule?
Yes.
Indianapolis.
That's right. Last season, he picked it up at the Indy 250.
Oh, man, if you want to see a race come down to just crazy circumstances, go back and find that race in the GSRC catalog, especially if you want to get ready for this year's Indianapolis 250, because that was something. That was definitely one for the memories.
That's a good one, and that's where he picks up his only wins. There's the Candyman. Of course, we call him the Candyman because he's part of Dwar's Candy. Not sure if he's actually in the Dwar's car today. I think he only races that. Oh, he is in the Dwar's car. The Dwar's car is in the Retro 79 here. Yeah. Coming up on the back of... Oh, my goodness. Well, he's found Jake right now.
I don't want to take away from this too much. I think Jake Wright's gonna be easy pickings for Dustin Wardlow here. I mean, he was almost 2 seconds faster than him last lap. That damage is really hurting Jake Wright. Stay on this battle here just in case we're able to see the pass get made, but I want to point out something, Soup, that I've been watching here the last couple of laps, that our leader Alex Saunders just putting out some screaming lap times, but at the same time as there's that pass being made, I don't think Jake Wright's going to put up much of a fight here for Dustin Wardlow. But in the sense of Alex Saunders pushing his car right now and putting down those just screaming lap times, I'm watching him get really close to putting wheels off and stuff like that. So maybe a little bit of inexperience there. I mean, when you have that large of a lead, maybe trying to back off just a touch or something. But Alex Saunders hopefully doesn't create his own mistake here.
Yeah, he has all the lead he needs, other than if he wants to get enough cushion that if he spins, he doesn't have to worry about that. Let's jump back to 12th position. Right behind Samuel Ryman. These guys have been nose to tail. Well, not really nose to tail, but they've been in close proximity of each other for most of the race. And it really starts in 10th position with Ron Hacker, Sam Ryman now in 11th, George Anzaldo in 12th, and then Joe Branch back here watching in 13th. What I think this will really be an issue is if they come out like this after the pit. Oh my goodness, there you can see that Branch almost, Anzaldo almost got whacked by a branch there. If these guys race this close when the leader comes around, he's still a long way away before they get there. These guys race a minute and 11 seconds behind the leader. Well, wait a minute, it's not that far. Nope, about just over a minute behind the leader. So he's got 10 seconds before they get up to him.
Whacked by a branch. Did you figure that out all on your own?
They like come out that way. Yeah.
I like it. As we go over to P10 here, you got Ron Hacker trying to fight off Samuel Raymond. Of course, we were talking about that a little bit ago. That. Hey, and another battle that's heating up here again. Obviously, we talked about him already having the damage. Jake Wright is now struggling to hold off Travis Jagerliner. And don't look now, Aaron Morgan right behind those two guys as well. So Jake Wright in possible position to lose two more spots here over the course of the next couple laps. It's almost to the point, Soup, where I'm wondering did he actually end up with any more than aero damage out of that little incident right there. I mean, his suspension looks fine, but I mean, he's losing at this point almost 2 seconds a lap on these guys. We're looking to put some more wheels off here.
Yeah, but as I look at his lap times after the incident, he was running a 1:16.6, a 1:17 flat. He's almost a half second slower now. Maybe, and I've told you that these tires are rock hard and they really don't give up, but I wonder if he's not abusing the tires because he has some less aerodynamic grip now. Yeah, because when he was first being chased by, who would that have been in the third position? I guess it would have been.
He was trying to stick with Adam Blocker as well.
Right, he was
good. Yeah.
He was holding his own, at least I thought he was. And when Yazek got behind him, it didn't seem this easy. But right now, boy, he's really struggling.
So with that, going back, Samuel Ryman and Ron Hacker still going at it back there for 10th position. As I don't think Travis Jagerliner is going to be able to make his move here anytime soon. But Samuel Ryman doing what he can back there.
Yeah, he's just annoying me. He's looking on the back of Ron. He's trying to get there, but.
Oh, we left him and they despawned. Jake Wright is around once again, looking for a good opportunity to come back on track. He is going to lose 3 spots there. Jagerliner, Morgan, and Goodman. More trouble for Jake Wright on your GSRC replay here.
I think this one, not so much the wing, although I'm sure it had something to do with it, as it was the curbing there. As he got the car up on that, the car got a little bit squiggly.
That's one of those places where there's a little bit of change in elevation that can upset the car and make it real light, and you turn the wheel just a touch too much, and I'm sure having the lack of downforce across the front right now didn't help that out at all. So... But
remember as well, and this is at least my impression when I was in this car a little bit, so much of it is generated from ground effects. So when you get the car up on the curbs, you hurt. If the car gets up, you in theory, you're taking away some of that stickiness. Yeah, now it could just be my talent level, but man, for me, when I got anywhere close to, if I could even see the curbing, my car went around on me. But that could be a lot to do with the talent behind the wheel.
Well, you're all right, Soup. You don't ever give yourself enough credit. But yeah, I think you're exactly right about the ground effects, though, because I mean these curbs. I mean, have a tendency to do that. And of course, when you're already missing what downforce you have on the front wing, that doesn't help. And some of these guys have bent up rear wings. I mean, you need every little bit you can, but I want to say it was something like 50 or 60% of the downforce in these cars comes from the ground effects. I could be wrong on that stat, but I think that's what it is.
Well, honestly, the feeling is the same. Whether you're doing, if you're running a lap as fast as Alex Saunders or if you're 4 seconds off his pace, it all translates down. We ride on board with Sam Ryman right now. Look at that beautiful Alabama sky pushing down on you there. My gosh, you didn't know better. I thought we'd be in Montana. Coming down, trying to chase down Ron Hacker. Man, on this roadkill cam, you really get to feel the undulations of the track as it goes up and down. Love that onboard cam. Look at that, too, as they hide behind the hill. Hello, peekaboo.
That may be the first time that peekaboo has ever been mentioned in a GSRC broadcast. Somebody needs to break that down. Hey, that could be another one for the board game there. The
breaking new ground, baby.
Yeah, the bingo board they got going on.
"13 cars on the lead lap. Krahula is a lap down, and has he been legitimately lapped? Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, he has. He's got Adam Blocker now right behind him. And Adam Blocker's almost 7.5 seconds behind the leader. These guys should be here in the next probably 4 laps or so, be looking at making a pit stop.
Let's go to the leaders now because, my goodness, he got there fast. He's caught to Joe Branch, and now here is Alex Saunders in the mix of these guys. He's got George Anzaldo there. He negotiates him. Anzaldo does not lose the spot to Branch. That would be poor Backmarker United etiquette there. But now they should be, I think they should be coming up pretty soon on Ryman and Hacker. Yep, just a corner away.
Don't look now. I mean, once he gets past those guys, the next car he'll have to try to lap is going to be Jake Wright. Jake Wright has lost that much ground, now already more than a minute behind the leader, Alex Saunders. So one guy out there right now that wants that pit stop more than anybody has got to be Jake Wright, even for the fact of just trying to be able to try to minimize his losses at this point. He came into this race 10th in points. Riding on board now, the PlasmaTracks.com onboard candidate. That's George Anzaldo. Looking out back behind him is, of course, Joe Branch. Been following that battle off and on here throughout the day. Is George Anzaldo taking a little bit of a defensive line there going into those corners. And now just trying to doing what he can to finally pull a little bit away from Branch.
Remember, Plasma-Tracks.com, one of our sponsors here today. In fact, the race title sponsor of the race. You got to go to them. Check them out. They got some interesting stuff there.
And before we get into these pit stops, actually go ahead and talk about PlasmaTracks.com. Get over to Plasma-Tracks.com. Not only produces original racetrack wall art, produces motorsports trophies, home decor, and motorsport fabrication. They're also available. The perfect gift for the person who has everything. The only way to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself. See it all at Plasma-Tracks.com.
I want to see if they can do an image of my wife's face. I thought that would be nice. I'd like to hang that on the wall.
I got nothing, Sue.
Just saying.
I'm sure she would like that.
Just saying. You know what? You know who's really annoying me is Samuel Ryman.
I was going to say me.
Yeah, no, you never annoy me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Samuel Ryman, I would like him to make this pass on Ron Hacker. Now,
I think he can. In fact, Samuel Ryman's like, okay, maybe I'll just do it on pit road. Here we go.
He's got to be listening to the broadcast. He's just going to.
One of our first takers.
They are a lap down. Alex Saunders was able to negotiate their way through those. And by the way, while doing these, he opened it up now to 8 seconds on Blocker, who was not able to get through those guys quite as quick as Saunders did. 28 laps to go. I guess that's right there where we wanted to be, 27-28.
Right about when we were expecting to see some of that is now Sammy Ryman making his way off of pit road. So if anything, Sammy Ryman maybe came in just a touch early, but with being a lap down, it should not be a problem for him. I would expect the likes of like Jake Wright to be coming in this next time by, as Jake Wright's next in line to go a lap down here in just a moment.
Be interested to see if anybody can go one lap farther than Alex Saunders and try to keep that wire-to-wire out of him. Saunders going around one more time. Adam Blocker coming up to pit entry. He's going to go around one more time. 27 laps to go.
Were there any takers in pit road here that last time? Not really seeing anybody, so I would think that here this next time by, Sue, pit road's going to become a pretty busy place.
Well, you know, I work with Sam Ryman in the booth a lot, and he always tries not to aggravate me both in the booth and I guess on the track. So he knew I was getting upset that he wasn't able to make that pass, so he comes off. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. He's going to do it this way. He's going to run a few hot laps by himself because he's being held up. And when it's all said and done, he'll have made that pass on Ron Hacker. That's how he's going to do it. Pitting in, I hear from
Aaron Morgan.
Okay. Morgan's coming in. And now our leader working his way up into pit entry. It's got to be this time. And it is.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a mandatory stop for everybody. Of course, right in front of him is Jake Wright. We'll see if Jake Wright's able to get that nose repaired.
Adam's going to stay out one more because he knows he wants to lead a lap. Atta boy.
Will he get to the start-finish line, though, before Alex Saunders?
Honestly, I think Blocker maybe
He made it, but just barely.
The only driver who could have made that to stayed out and beat Saunders out first. Blocker stays out. Yazik stays out, I guess. Nope, Yazik coming in. Boy, I was looking on my timing and scoring for the driver in third. It showed that he was still out on the track. He hadn't got to pit entrance yet. That this goes to show you how far ahead Blocker and Saunders really are. Saunders cycles out in second. Interesting. Maybe we can go to Saunders, though, real quick. He's got Jake Wright. Oh, look at Jake. He's a two-time championship in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Just pulls over and lets him by.
He knows the drill.
All right, our leader coming around was credited with leading a lap last time, and yep, he's in. Careful. He was negotiating that tricky alley that we talked about.
Almost made me a little nervous right there. Actually, made me nervous again. He got really close to that Armco there, coming to the cones.
If you're interested where Saunders is, he's just coming around pit entry now. He's going to easily get around Blocker. Here's my idea for racing. I think would make things interesting in real-world racing. Co-ed pit crews. If you have a male driver, you have to have female pit crew. If you have a female driver, you get to have a male pit crew. How about that? I like that rule. Seems fair. Just they have to be opposite.
Sue?
Okay.
I got nothing.
All right. I'm just... You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, I thought maybe I knew where you were going with that one. I was wrong. I was totally wrong. As we're watching Jason Galvin make his way down pit road here.
I thought using children would be interesting, but that probably was not safe, so settle for females. Pits are all starting to happen. Everybody has been in, except Mr. Contrary. James Krahula finally making his stop.
James Krahula proving that you can go almost 3 laps farther than what we were told they would be able to. So
yep.
he's finally coming down pit road here. And by the way, not in the lead. Of course, granted, he was also down a lap, so maybe 2 laps further than what we were told. But after the pit stop cycle here, we're able to move Alex Saunders back up into the lead. Adam Blocker in second, and Jason Galvin in third position here. Well, excuse me, Jasek should be able to pass him up here once they come across the line, and when the pit cycle should fully complete at that point.
And here's the big news. Let's go to 10th. We talked about it. Samuel Ryman had been chasing Ron Hacker for much of the time. Well, he's out there in front. Looks like James Skrahula has picked up a spot as well.
Yeah, picking up a spot over Jake Wright.
Yep.
I'm not seeing... okay, there is Jake Wright. And I also just saw a car off. I don't know who that is. Vincent Blumenthal. Vincent is running into trouble. I think he got into the Armco as well. Looks like on the entry to the corkscrew area, he got a little hot. Nosed her in.
Man, if you're going to buy a ticket, that's the corner. That's been the action corner right there. And that's Adam Blocker just going around in that Dodger blue colored car.
Very, very similar to what happened with Jake Wright. Very similar damage as well. So it's gonna impact him heavily here over the course of the next couple of laps.
Eight cars on the lead lap.
And don't look now, Dustin Wardlow. This might very well shape up to be the next battle on the racetrack. Dustin Wardlow is doing a good job right now of chasing down Jason Galvin. Now, both these guys have not had mistake-free days here this afternoon, so we'll be seeing if they're able to kind of make up for it, maybe have a fantastic battle here over the next couple laps.
Wardlow in the Dwarves car. There's the pan up. I love that pan up to Jason Galvin. And that kind of reminds me, I'm going to go with Tony Stewart. Kind of that Glidden yellow and green car from back then.
I think we asked him about it before, and I think he said it was for Tony Stewart. It was also for one of the last cars that Scott Brayton was able to drive.
Scott Brayton, yeah.
For his tragic death there at Indianapolis in 1996. So I believe that was the case. And also, by the way, Scott Johnson has decided to call it a day. Back end came around on him. He ended up in the tires, and his day is done.
What this has done, we do have some interesting battles shaping up there for the back half of this. Jägerliner in 6th only has a 1.3 second lead over Aaron Morgan. Let's talk about Aaron Morgan. He is making his Lionheart debut today. Welcome to the series.
Yeah, and if he can keep all the wheels on the track, he could come away with the top 10 here.
Yeah.
So coming up in about 20 laps rather. So good run for Aaron Morgan making his debut.
Hard to get into this. There's a waiting list, and it's not like next up. They actually have to look at you, and they invite you in, not only speed, but just personality as well. They don't want any troublemakers coming in here. Let's look at our leader right now. He's about to put a lap on Michael Goodman.
I mean, Sean Ambrose need not apply, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
just making sure. He'll be popping his head in here any minute now to make sure we know that he's not a troublemaker.
Goodman pulls over. The other thing I wanted to talk about is Jake Wright. I told you that wing would be an easy fix. Well, it wasn't. It still looks kind of askew. Yeah.
We'll go with wonky. Wonky sounds more interesting.
The nose is kind of has a little bit of Barber Streisand going on there.
It's very interesting how it's affecting the car because he just does not seem as stable through the corners as some of the other guys out there right now. So he's just trying to hold his own, trying to get whatever points he can out of today, and he's going to be falling back into the clutches here of Samuel Ryman here before too long, I believe.
Let me go back and change my reference. Like rewind. I'm going to go with Owen Wilson's. I'm trying to keep my references.
You're
this
doing
century.
that with the messed up nose. Okay.
Yeah. See, I knew Barbara Streisand wasn't going to get there, so I'm trying to say current. So that was better. Mark that one down in my cliche book.
I was I had a couple of 15-year-old girls call me a mean guy for making fun of a certain actress in the 80s over her nose. I think you kind of know what I mean. Back to the Future. I'm gonna leave names out of it though.
Look at it. There's Galvin. This is a good one. This is Galvin and Wardlow now. Now remember, Wardlow was ahead of him earlier on in the race. Wardlow qualified in 6th, Galvin in 8th. Now he's ran him down.
And as I mentioned, I mean, both these guys have had a trouble or two here today, so it's good being able to see them kind of make up for it, still being able to run into the top 5. But Jason Galvin right now, he is trying to drive the wheels off that thing. I think Dustin Wardlow right now is doing a good job at filling up his mirrors and putting the pressure on right now for that 4th spot.
Jason Galvin, of course, with some real-world racing experience. He has his own, I'm going to get this wrong, but I think it's a modified. He goes out there and races that.
Yeah, and actually has himself a couple of local race wins here this season so far. So good on him. Of course, had the big career change a few months ago, getting out of the news business, kind of doing some other things, including being an announcer for one of the California college baseball teams out there. I know which one it is. We're just leaving it out for right now. But he's having himself a whale of a year in life in general, and just seeing him out there right now, he's doing great.
Having a great season in Lionheart, both here in the Retro Series and in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Currently in 4th behind Saunders, Blocker, and Yazik. I gotta hunt. Wardlow has his number here. He's got plenty of time, 19 laps. All the time in the world for the Candyman to figure out Galvin. Director, can we go back?
Oh, and JC Galvin back in really stepped out on him there. He's going to get out of line. I don't think Dustin Wardlow is going to be able to do anything with him here quite yet, but JC Galvin just doing his best to hang on.
I think he's got him
here. I think he's got the momentum. He thinks better of it. I don't think he had enough momentum, so he backs out of it.
I think Wardlow didn't want to try to mistime that one. I think he also had to lift.
Look at this. But Jason Galvin mistimes that, and you're going to give that spot to Dustin Wardlow.
That's just a little bit of pressure going on there. Let's see, can we bring up the teams? Wardlow, does he race for a unique team? Is he with yes, with Raven? That one. See, when you're racing with Raven Motorsports, that's like rapping. He was just rapping on his chamber door until he got the best of Galvin. Got some good bird names here. We got Raven Motorsports. We got Nighthawk Motorsports. Looking here at George Anzaldo. This one has been going on the entire race. Joe Branch and Zaldo.
Well, while we have a minute before that heats back up, let's talk about HPP Simulation. HPP is awarding a set of pedals valued at $1,395 here today to the season championship. HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. Visit hppsimulation.com to check it out. HPP, designed to go fast and built to last. And riding on board on that hppsimulation.com, Brian Yazik's machine. Brian's another one of those guys just having himself a great day. I mean, he's almost a minute behind the leader, but still sitting in 3rd, and I don't think you're going to hear a lot of complaints out of him this afternoon.
No, he's going to be happy with that one, I think. Looking at that one going on right now. Can we go over to a 6th position? Because this one's heating up. Now, this is youth against experience here. You have Jägerliner in his 23rd career race, being hounded by Aaron Morgan, making his 1st Retro Series race. Morgan having a great run. He has been closing in on Jägerliner for the last handful of laps. Racing in 7th. They are a lap down. The leader has just got around them, Alex Saunders. Won't be too long until Blocker gets to them as well. Blocker's got to go through Michael Goodman before he gets up to the drivers in 6th and 7th. Drivers in 6th and 7th, does that mean there are only 5 cars on the lead lap?
And they've lapped up till the top 5 now, and before too long they'll be getting up to Jason Galvin and Dustin Wardlow.
Galvin is the next car in line for Saunders, and he's only half a straightaway away. My gosh. Yeah, we're looking at our leader. Jägerliner still comfortably ahead of Morgan. You know, Adam, you're looking at that one with Morgan. You got to think that maybe Michael Goodman might be able to get to those guys. Not a lot of battles out on the track right now.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, Joe Branch, George Zaldo, I think is the closest one out there right now. But here comes our leader, Alex Saunders, on Jason Galvin, already getting ready to go around him. And we'll talk about him being up underneath that rear wing in just a moment. But ever since Dustin Wardlow was able to get around Jason, Dustin's just been he knows the pressure's coming up behind him to try not to go a lap down, and he's trying to do his best to get away from him.
Candyman does not want to finish a lap down. It's about a 7-second gap between Saunders and Wardlow. Now, Jason, you're a lap. Just let him go. There's just that little bit, that little short circuit between the ears of Galvin that you never quite know what he's going to do. Not going to win me any fans from the Bakersfield area, but I think Jason would agree that sometimes he confuses himself.
Well, that George and Zaldo Joe Branch battle heating back up. They're running side by side now. As Joe Branch had himself a good look, but almost loses that car. Able to get that straightened back out, but that battle went from being extremely hot to, well, lukewarm at best, very fast there, thanks to the rear end kind of losing grip.
It's Ron Hacker in 12th and Zaldo in 13th. Branch in 14th. Branch has been behind George's car the entire race.
I think he's about sick of looking at that rear wing.
Yeah.
But, you know, while Joe Branch was putting the pressure on George and Zaldo, George was himself starting to gain a lot of time on Ron Hacker. So that might be something else to try to develop here before everything's said and done. But Soup, this race starting to wind down pretty quick. Of course, it's pretty easy with Alex Saunders putting the kind of lap times that he is down. But been looking at Adam Blocker here. When Adam Blocker is not in traffic, he's actually been able to gain quite a bit on Alex Saunders. I think Alex Saunders is finally starting to back off just a touch, realizing he just needs to keep the car clean at this point.
Okay, now here comes Blocker. He's going to get the pass made on Jägerliner. Now here's the deal. Aaron Morgan, you do not get to do this. This is bad back marker etiquette. If a guy lets the leader by, you can't take advantage of that. Man, here he comes. Aaron Morgan on the outside going into one. Adam?
Yeah, you know, normally I'd agree with you, but being the fact that we're fighting for top 10 positions while also dealing with the leader, I don't know. I don't want to say I would do the same thing, but I probably would. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, no, that'll teach him. See, the racing gods are just and fair.
Right where that car just gets light, Soup. It just hooked right on him. And his car is hurt too. I mean, he might try to limp it around the rest of the way, but he ain't going to be competitive anymore.
Can you hear the applause coming from the Back Marker United chapters around the globe right now as they all stand up and say, "Seat"? So, Aaron His first race. Going to have to struggle now to stay in 8th position. What's you got? He's got about 16 seconds back to the other guy that has damage, Jake Wright. So we'll see who can limp the car home faster.
And Jake Wright himself, he's got Stanley Raymond breathing down his neck now. I think that's going to be another position that's going to change hands here in the next few minutes.
Yeah, now if you know Samuel Ryman, you think he's a milk toast driver, but that's only in the beginning of the race. He's very careful. When we get down to this stage, this is where Sam gets going. This is going to be a little more aggressive now as he's coming up behind Jake Wright. Got a chance for 9th and then maybe even to get up there and catch Morgan.
That'll be a good point stay. I believe he came into the points trying to pull those up here. He came in onto the leaderboard, showing up on the leaderboard for the first time this season, the 16th, gaining a spot to show up on there. So coming home with a top 10 finish today, considering there's a couple of guys in front of him that aren't here today, he has a chance to leapfrog another good 2 or 3 spots with the top 10.
Absolutely. And let's go to Anzaldo. Right now, it's Anzaldo and Branch. Is this current? They got together, Anzaldo and Branch. If this is current, it might be too far back. I went to the replay. I heard something. Oh, it's going into the corkscrew, but maybe a lap back.
It was on lap 40. It's been a couple laps ago.
Sorry.
They did get together. And ultimately, the spots didn't change hands. I don't think they hit each other hard enough to really have any damage. And I think they just kind of decided to let bygones be bygones and back racing hard again.
Just to explain, through the magic of iRacing, I get to press a little button and it magically sends me to something that might have happened out there. And you never quite know when it was. It rewinds you to something interesting. Sorry that we missed that one for you guys live. But, as it all turns out, Anzaldo still out in front, Branch behind. That time, Anzaldo did get hit by the Branch.
It's now Dustin Wardlow gives up being on the lead lap to Alex Saunders.
Amazing.
Alex Saunders has lapped up to 3rd position, and I think there's enough time left in this race that he might be able to get up to Brian Yazek.
I honestly looked at that and I saw that Wardlow was a good 7 seconds up. I'm like, well, there's no way he's going to. I mean, it's Dustin Wardlow, and man, he ran him down.
Kid's on a mission. I mean,
yes.
He missed a race earlier this year. He had terrible luck on our first couple of oval races this season. It's like ever since then, he has just been on a tear. And I know our broadcasts are somewhat dominated by Alex Saunders, this kid Alex Saunders, but he's setting the world on fire. I mean, there's no other way around it, Soup. I mean, he has just been that amazing to watch out of these races. At this point, Adam Blocker is going to have to consistently do what he's doing, finish second to him, and then hope he can capitalize on the mistakes and the occasional bad race that he might have. If that happens, I mean, if that doesn't happen, Saunders is just going to continue to whittle away at Adam Blocker's lead in the championship standings bit by bit by bit. That 61-point lead going into this race is going to disappear. It might take a couple of rounds, but it's going to gradually disappear.
The good news for Blocker is it's a mix between road courses and ovals. Actually, it's like a 1/3, 2/3 race in favor of the oval. So I think Blocker probably has because when you're on an oval, anything can happen. I think you own your own fate a little bit more on a road course. I don't know. Maybe that's just my way of thinking of it.
Well, either way, I can tell you that one thing for Brian Yazek maybe avoiding going a lap down is that Alex Saunders is going to have to go through this George Anzaldo and Joe Branch battle here in a little bit.
Let's go to 9th first, because Ryman is there now, as he's looking to make that pass on Jake Wright. They head into the hairpin. I got to figure that Wright's car is going to really suffer out of the corkscrew here. straight line speed. Let's see what Sam can do. Trickiest corner on the track right now. Not going to get him, I guess. They run up here, heading down into the tunnel. Ryman having a good run. Ryman from 16th position up to 10.
Well, and right now, our leader trying to get through the Joe Branch-George Zaldo battle,
Yeah.
and Joe Branch not giving him a lot of space to do it, knowing that he's about to battle. But of course, as soon as I say that, Joe Branch does pull over. No, he does not. Alex
Nope.
Saunders, I think, is going to hang back there. Alex Saunders has the luxury of just being able to hang back and just kind of let people let him by eventually. So that very well could be what's going on right there.
Yeah.
There
There,
you
Branch gets out of the way. With apologies to Samuel Ryman, I think that was a little more interesting the way those guys have been fighting the whole race.
Yeah, and while we were watching Sam and Raymond, actually Joe Branch did get alongside George and Zaldo there just a moment ago. So, that battle did heat up again, but now it get broken up.
Yeah. Here comes the yellow car into the mix. While Samuel Ryman has been stuck behind the injured car of Jake Wright, James Krahula now in there looking to pick up a couple spots. Andy Morgan, oh, I did it again, sorry. Aaron Morgan, after having his spin, is comfortably out in front. I'll go to aversions therapy. What I will do is I will wear a rubber band on my wrist all week long. And every time I think of anybody named Andy, I will snap myself in the wrist.
Well, that's not very nice to yourself.
That's how I do it. I'm a professional. I go to whatever it takes to give you the best GSRC broadcast that can possibly happen. Jake Wright in 9th. Samuel Ryman in 10th. Look at that. I love that camera shot we were just on. That was fun. James Krahula in 11th. This is the track that has the now like the little bit of lake and fountain going on in it, right? They've remodeled it now. Really pretty.
Yeah, don't they have like a little spider or something like that?
Yeah. Oh, there. Let's see it right there.
And Jake Wright, he's somehow been able to hold off Sam and Raymond here. I don't think Sam's been pushing too hard, but I think he's starting to feel the heat from James Krahula behind him. So you're looking for the pressure to maybe go on Jake Wright here because this race is starting to whittle down here.
Let's get a replay of the driver in 3rd. It just happened, Brian Yazik. He was going around, this got exciting, took my breath away. He was going around Vincent Blumenthal. Then, everything seems fine, but then all of a sudden he decides to see what the Alabama Alfalfa is like. Whoa!
Well, the ground effects in these cars, those make for excellent lawnmowers, right?
I'm
trying.
I really thought that one was heading towards the wall, but he got it going straight. Yazik, sometimes he feels he doesn't get enough screen time. He likes to do something exciting. That's not going to help him in his quest. Well, I was going to say in his quest to stay on the lead lap. And I guess, yeah, it's a... Is he close? Where is he? He's a ways away. And I'm talking about our leader, Saunders.
I think he is going to come in just shy of being lapped by maybe a lap or two from Alex Saunders being underneath his rear wing. But Alex Saunders also doing almost kind of taking his time at times going through the lap traffic, knowing that he doesn't need to rush it. So that might be the saving grace for Brian Yazik being able to finish on the lead lap here today.
Just a reminder, coming up soon, I believe July 11th, if that is a Sunday, that is the Lionheart IndyCar Series. That is their Indy 500. You don't want to miss that. Let's go to 10th. Krahula taking a peek in there. James is telling Samuel, Sam, if you're not going to do something with Jake Wright, then I'm going to have to pass you.
I think it's also worthy to note that Jake Wright's been putting down some of the best lap times he's had since his accident earlier on. So that is also probably playing a role in some of this as far as keeping these guys at bay, as finally being able to show, maybe getting used to that car and how it's driving a little bit more. But those guys, they definitely want to try to get around him, get that extra spot if they can.
3 cars on the lead lap, 11 cars 1 lap down. Last car 1 lap down, James Krahula right here. We're looking at it. In 11th. Four laps to go is what of course, that's not, well, it is that's what I forgot. We're too many series here for me to broadcast. This is determined by lap distance. Here comes the pass.
Sammy Ryman gets a little loose there coming out of the corner. James Krahula's going to take advantage.
That's one. Krahula may be a little bit more aggressive to get. There's a big difference between finishing 11th and finishing 10th. Not as big as difference between finishing 9th and 10th. That's right. I said it and I'm sticking with it. The interval between 9th and 10th is smaller than the interval between 10th and 11th.
It's a psychological thing, right?
It is. It is. I'm inside the top 10.
It's a real thing. I mean, like doing weather and all that, it's like there's a big difference between 99 degrees and 100 degrees on a hot day. It's like, really, though? There's not. It's just 1 degree difference. But all of a sudden, people see that triple digits. Oh, no.
That's right. Triple digits. My God. That's just about. Alex Saunders almost has a triple-digit lead here on the field. Up by 8.4. Does he have any chance to get to... there he is.
I see him out of Yazik's rear wing now. If you want to jump aboard the HP simulation camera, maybe aim it out the back of his car. But you will eventually see your leader, Alex Saunders, here by the time he's done, might be trying to lap 3rd place, Brian Yazik.
Let's see if I have the technology to actually do an interval there. I really can't do an interval from a car on lap down about to be. You figure, well, you can look at it, you can see that the interval is last time across the line, he was a minute 10 behind the leader, and now it's a minute 13 for lap times. Yeah, I think he's closer than that. 2 to go.
Yep, next time by, your leader, Alex Saunders, will get the white flag, and before too long, we'll be putting finishing touches on the Grand Prix of Barber here in just a matter of, I would say, about 19, 20 more corners. Well, yeah, no, excuse me, I'm way off. 16 more corners. White flag in the air. Just another dominating performance from Alex Saunders here today, Sue.
So with the white flag in the air, that means that Jake Wright, who's now just heading down into the corkscrew, he only has to hold off Krahula. We'll actually get to watch this battle come across the line first, this battle for 9th, before our leader gets there, if I have this figured out right. I do. So we can see if the 2-time Lionheart IndyCar champion can hold off James Krahula. Here he comes. Nope.
Well, and here comes Alex Saunders getting ready to approach the last couple of corners here for today. Alex Saunders, just another, we can keep saying it, another dominating performance, this time at Barber Motorsports Park in the Lionheart Retro Series for the 5th time this year. Here comes Alex Saunders onto the final straightaway. Crowned the 2018 Grand Prix of Barber champion, Alex Saunders coming across the line for his 5th checkered flag of the season. As fireworks go off in the background. Have a little trouble seeing because it's daylight. You're going to give Adam Blocker that 2nd place finish. And, well, it'll be a little while before Brian Yazik gets there for 3rd place. This race definitely was dominated by one guy. Right now, we're taking a knife. Jake Wright is able to hang on to James Grahula, or hang on to that 9th spot. James Grahula almost got into the back of Jake Wright. Soup, go ahead and take it.
I think Grahula gave him a little bit, hello! And I think he's lost all of his momentum. And now that's going to open the door maybe for Samuel Ryman as they come into the tunnel to get this done. I think the mistake from Grahula is going to give Wright a chance. No, here comes Grahula closing. They are on the final corner. Let's see what the yellow car can do. They'll come around here for the left-hander. I think Grahula's got a chance at it. Nope. Jake Wright's going to come home in 9th. Grahula will take 10th. Samuel Ryman going to have to settle for 11th. And those are the last cars 1 lap down.
Well, the racing is over here at Barber Motorsports Park, but our broadcast, well, we got a little bit more to show you here. Right now, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll return in a few minutes for the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. We'll run down the entire finishing order of the Grand Prix of Barber, talk to some of the drivers, and, well, talk about a few more of our sponsors. We'll be right back.
The SimPit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The SimPit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for the SimPit.
Welcome back to Barber Motorsports Park and the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. If you're struggling to find something for the person who has everything, do I have the website for you. Plasma-Tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, produces motorsports trophies, home decor, and motorsports fabrication are also available. Workers cannot do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself. But be warned, one visit, next thing you know, you'll be trying to convince your spouse why you need a Plasma Track wall art hanging in your home. See it all at plasma-tracks.com. All right, let's go ahead and run down the finishing order here for today. And just another dominating race win here for Alex Saunders, finishing almost 8 seconds up on Adam Blocker and almost a minute 15 seconds up on Brian Yazik. That's right, only 3 cars finished on the lead lap today. Dustin Wardlow overcoming some early trouble, bringing home in 4th. Same with Jason Galvin, bringing home in 5th. Travis Jagerliner also had some early trouble. 6th position, Michael Goodman having some early trouble. Believe me, the first couple laps of this race, the track was the winner, as a number of guys found themselves into trouble. Aaron Morgan able to recover for an 8th place position. Jake Wright able to hang on to 9th, and James Grahula in 10th.
Samuel Ryman was pestering Jake Wright for that 9th position, ended up losing it. Not only could not get the pass made on Wright, but then lost one to James Grahula as well. He comes home in 11th. Ahead of Ron Hacker, who he chased around for the first half of the track, past him while making a pit stop. Joe Branch and George Anzaldo, they were together for most of the race, sometimes together closer than they would have liked. Branch gets the nod in that battle, coming home in 13th, and Anzaldo settles for 14th. Chris Lanini, a quiet race from him, 2 laps down in 15th ahead of Vincent Blumenthal. Then we get to the guys that really ran into trouble. 25 laps down, Scott Johnson. Bob Micas, 40 laps down in 18th. 49 laps down, Woody Mahan had trouble early. 52 laps down, he qualified in 5th, going to finish in 20th. And that is Justin Weaver. There you have it, your top 20.
All right, well, with that, I believe, Soup, you've been able to catch up with our race winner, Alex Saunders, here for today. Just another dominating win. Go ahead and talk to him.
Alex, it was not wire to wire, as you had to come in a lap early there, and Adam stayed out and got one lap across the finish line first. But other than that, man, picking him up, putting him down.
Yeah, I was really I was hoping I could keep him from leading a lap, because I'm chipping away at his points lead a little bit at a time, and you know he's gonna win some more before the end of the year. But yeah, he got great mileage. I don't know how he did it when I pitted. I was dry.
We thought lap traffic would be an issue, but when you had the comfortable lead like you had, it made it a little easier to get through those guys, huh?
Yeah, everybody was pretty good about getting out of the way. There were only a couple times where I really lost time when guys were battling. The only real trouble spot was the right-hander at the bottom of the hill, the bottom of the track there. It seemed like I was taking a different line than anybody else was going over that curb, and almost rear-ended a couple guys a couple times. Just wasn't expecting them to be that much slower right there.
The first lap, you didn't see it because you were ahead of everybody, but boy, there were a lot of incidents on that. You almost had to wonder if maybe these hard tires don't warm up well. Is that an issue, or can that pace lap get the tires warmed up so the first lap's not an issue?
Well, I mean, Barber's a really tough track to begin with. And then I think the set this week had a little bit higher pressures than normal. So I know I was struggling a little bit with that, I guess more later in the stint. But Barber's a really difficult track to do too wide. And, you know, when you have the double file start like that, it's just going to get messy. So.
Well, congratulations on your drive to the lead here. Drop race is going to be coming in pretty soon. That's going to help you out a little bit. Adam Blocker is not going to make it easy on you. No matter if you get a win, if he keeps finishing second, you guys are going to have a dogfight the whole rest of the season.
Yeah, he's real fast. It's fun chasing him, fun trying to catch him. The rest of the guys in the league too. Looking forward to Michigan next time out. We'll have the team back together. So looking forward to racing with Greg again. And thanks you guys for putting this on.
All right, Alex, good job for another win today. Good luck the rest of the way. That's Alex Saunders. He sits second in the points now. He's coming with another win today.
Yeah, but that guy that is leading the points and still leading the points is going to be Adam Blocker. Adam, you didn't have what you needed for Alex Saunders here for today, but at least you're able to come away with that lap lead and not losing too much ground in the point standings.
Yeah, I don't know, kind of disappointed a little bit because I feel like I could have done a little bit better in qualifying, and I matched Alex in the second stint, so yeah, it definitely told me I had the potential to win, but just couldn't put it together. But yeah, also kind of disappointed that we didn't lap the field. We were pretty close, so but yeah, overall pretty good points day. Alex and I keep finishing 1-2 every race, so there's not a big differential. Probably determined by unless he just sweeps me for the rest of the season, probably be determined by like reliability or accidents and things like that. So yeah, just definitely trying to keep my nose clean and finish on the podium every race. So.
Well, of course, coming up next, we've got Michigan coming up, which, of course, we know is going to be just kind of a drafting type of race. Is it going to be your goal to try to maybe keep Alex Saunders in front of you during that race and maybe try to get him like coming to the flag or something like that?
Well, Michigan will probably be a pretty crazy race considering he can't really trim this car out enough because it's not built to have oval setup. So it's probably going to be a pack race, in which case, you don't really have control over, where you put you and your rivals that much. You just kind of have to stay out of trouble and be there at the end and hope something good happens. Hope you happen to time your run, right? So, yeah, I don't know how it's going to go, but definitely not going to be as much control as a race like Barber where, it's a road course and you can kind of control your own destiny.
All right. Well, hey, Adam, good job here on the second place finish here for this afternoon, and we'll see you here in 2 weeks.
Yeah, thank you guys for calling the race. See ya.
All right, so that was Adam Blocker, your second place finisher here for today, and we'll bring in Brian Yasek, and Soup will catch up with him.
Brian, you qualified 7th. The guys directly in front of you on the grid, Weaver and Wright and Goodman and Wardlow all had issues today, so you just kind of stayed out of trouble and found yourself right up on the podium.
Boy, that doesn't make me feel good about my race. You say the only reason I got here is because everybody else had trouble. Well, Soup, come on, man.
Did you actually pass somebody on the track? You might have got around Dustin Wardlow maybe on the track.
I passed Wardlow and I passed Jake. I outbraked Jake Wright going into one of those corners, and that's probably the defining moment of my career right now. To be able to say I outbreak Jake Wright.
Now I'm gonna interrupt. Was that before or after Jake Wright got his damage?
Do it.
That's irrelevant.
And there's no Santa Claus, Brian.
No, exactly.
Yeah, jeez.
But no, to get back on track. No, we had a great HPP simulation, Lotus 79, Loud Pedal Motorsports effort tonight. I never really got comfortable in testing and practice with the car, so. Especially with Blocker and Saunders, I knew they were going to be gone. So it was just kind of one of those situations that you take the hands that you're dealt, and we just try not to make any mistakes and bring it home as far up the podium as we could, and we came home third. I mean, I'll take that.
That'll help you on the points and your team as well. Congratulations on the third place finish.
Hey, thank you, Soup. Have a great one, boy.
Brian Yasek doing what he does.
All right, I think we got time here for one more. We want to talk to the new guy that was able to come in here for today, and actually, I think we just missed him.
Too bad.
Yeah, but we do got Samuel Ryman up there. We'll go and bring in Samuel Ryman and be able to talk to him here. Of course, Sam, being able to, you lost a few spots right there at the end, but you were able to run a relatively clean race, come home in 11th.
Sam is still, he works for GSRC. You think he could figure out how to work his buttons. Here we go. Now I think you got it, Sam. You with us?
Yeah.
There you go.
There he is.
Were you entertained? Because I sure was.
You were in the mix of it, almost the entire race back there in you guys' little pack.
I don't know what I was doing in qualifying. 16th out of 20 cars to set a qualifying lap. What? Only 18 of us set a qualifying time. That's not me on road courses. And then we came over the crest of a hill on turn 3 on the first lap, and I just completely forgot the lift, and it skated off in the grass. But then there was a big wreck ahead of me, so I'm like, oh, this looks like I know what I'm doing anyway. I really just buggered the turn up, but no, it's like, no, I'm just avoiding the wreck over here. So then, yeah, I got to pass a bunch of cars, and that got very interesting. And got very interesting when I caught Jake Wright, because I've been told he was damaged, and I could tell that he was struggling on the turns where you had to be hard on the brakes. And so I'm like, okay, when I get a run on him, I'm just going to have to send it down the inside. So I tried, and I locked up, and I knew we were screwed. Unfortunately, Jake's a good enough driver. He turned right, and we got out of it. And eventually I made a mistake. James got by me. But yeah, you know what? Raven Motorsports, we had 5 cars here today, and all 5 finished in the top 14. So good points day for the team. Wish I had a top 10. I don't. Oh well. Michigan's coming up soon. So we'll see.
You know, of course, Michigan is Michigan. We'll have to see what happens there. But hey, Sam, good luck to you, buddy. It was good watching you out there today.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Look forward to watching this one back.
All right. Well, you know, we missed him a minute ago. We'll grab him now. We'll let Soup talk to Aaron Morgan.
Aaron, welcome to the series. Glad we got the chance to talk to you. You had a good first run.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I enjoyed it. I'm a little disappointed because I messed up at the end there. I don't know if y'all caught that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I said that so nonchalantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, top 10's good at least, you know.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I mean, there's not much. I've been really getting into the IndyCar since the IR18 came out. I've been wanting to join the Indy League with these guys, and I've been going to all the practice races. And George said, "Hey, there's a spot open on the Retro." Never drove the car before last week, but it was fun. So I put a lot of time in to try to, get up to speed. And
you consider yourself an oval driver or a road racer?
Definitely road.
Okay. Well, you'll have your work cut out for you next time, as we're going to a big one. We're going to Michigan, so good luck there.
Oh yeah, every lap is a learning experience.
Well, congratulations on a good performance today. We look forward to maybe a top 5, pick up a win here before the season's done.
Hopefully.
All right, there you have it. And that was Andy. Oh, gosh darn it. Snap. Ow!
You had to get it one last time tonight.
Aaron Morgan. That's the last time I do that one. His debut race, he comes home in 8th.
All right. Well, of course, here today, just been a fantastic race and everything else. And want to go ahead and give one last shout out to our sponsors. We'll start, of course, with Butt Kicker. Soup.
And is that me? I guess it's me, Butt Kicker. The products add instant immersion to any game, unlike subwoofers that move air and loses accuracy and focus. Butt Kicker products produce actual mass, producing a, get this, haptic immersion. And if you're going to be immersed, you want it to be haptically. That's powerful and accurate. Butt Kicker products add that missing driver-to-car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. And I got more. Pay attention. Use this promo code LION20 to get, I'm not lying, LION20 to get 20% off your order. All right.
Yeah, and an entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing. Its focus is to bring you news, review, and information from around the world about sim racing hardware and software. And of course, I am talking about the Sim Pit. It also focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer with instructional video and how-tos that will help your performance on the virtual track. Check it out at thesimpit.com. And of course, to contact any of the sponsors you see on your screen right now, go to LionheartRacingSeries.com, click on 2018 sponsors, read or scroll to the bottom where you can click on the company logo. On the screen now are just some of the companies, equipment, and software that made this broadcast possible. The iconic original music that lets your ears alert your eyes. You're watching a GSRC production comes courtesy of Erica Coleman and June Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
The Lionheart Retro Series returns in 2 weeks for round 9, where it's time to go fast at Michigan. 100 laps around the D-shaped oval. That's July 12th at 10:35 p.m. Eastern. We are also have all of our broadcasts coming across the screen right now, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, you can find it at the GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. Nope, let me correct myself. GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. We're also on Instagram at GSRC_Graham. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That's the subscribe button right there on the YouTube page.
Finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Bill Soup Zahn, our director, Amjad Yamin, and our camera artist, Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank you all for watching. And with that said, well, it's still ahead time to call tonight. We'll see you out there.